welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a review of the year. Basically, I think most people are doing them. I think it's all the case of the year that basically towards the end of the year I normally get depressed, but yeah, I mean, I'll touch on that later on. Beginning of the year, basically I collect games. Been collecting quite a lot. Quite a lot in the room has changed as well since last year to this year. I will be doing a room tour at some point. There's a few changes that I implemented because it would make a little bit more space. I wouldn't say it's a lot, it's just a bit more than what a bit better than what I expected. The change that I made needed to be changed, not because it was a want, it was a need. The unit was falling apart, so I changed it over thanks to a friend and one of my subscribers around the corner. So absolutely brilliant. So anyway, we start January, February, March this year, where basically I collected 2 consoles. Thanks to Chris, he bought me a Red Wii console. Now the Red Wii console is the 25th anniversary edition. We've been on about that for a while. He said he would buy me one, and he did, and I absolutely appreciate it. Goes to the collection, absolutely brilliant. The next one I've been on about for years and years and years. It's been a running joke, which is the Mega CD. Now I've been after one. Me, Chris, Tanya, probably Richard, been on about getting one for years. Managed to get my hands on one for a reasonable cost. With the Mega Drive 2 and the Mega CD 2 I got at a reasonable cost. It was worth getting at that point. It's gone up since then quite a bit, but I'm happy that it's a new addition to the room. The next one that I got was the March-April time. I think after I got the Mega CD, I got a Pandora's Box console. Now, was on sale, had to have it. It was at a ridiculous price, and I thought, well, I might as well get it. It's got so many games on there. I thought to myself, yeah, get hold of it, At first, when I did get hold of it, I thought, right, what am I going to do with it? Where am I going to plug it in? I had a TV in the front room, my white Toshiba TV. I did have my projector sitting on top of my projector stand. So what happened then, I decided, well, instead of having that just sitting there as it is, let's try and make it into like an arcade, if you know what I mean. So I got a piano like stand to put the Pandora's Box on, and then this year I got myself a VHS player as well, which has been pretty brilliant. It works perfectly. So what I did was actually put the Pandora's Box on my Evercade Versus machine sitting there, and my VHS player on the stand that the projector was on, and moved the TV from the front room straight into here, and used the TV instead of it sitting dormant. It's been sitting there a year or so. TV hasn't done nothing, so I put it to good use. Absolutely love it to pieces. I originally wound Chris up saying I've got an arcade machine. I actually made it. It was kind of arcade, isn't it? It is an arcade. Pandora is an arcade machine. So I've done that. Then I got a gaming projector. I've done a video on it. Plays games well. Does it? It's an Android system. You can do what you want with it, basically. Absolutely love it to pieces. It's one of those where basically I saw it for cheap. Thought I'd get it, see what it's about. But, it isn't a brilliant projector. Don't get me wrong. It's not brilliant. People make out it's brilliant. It's not. It does what it says on the tin. It projects a screen. And you play games on it, no problem. You can plug in your Xbox, your PlayStation, whatever you want in it. So it has got games built in with an SD card. I took the SD card out, I dropped it on the floor. I need to sort it out and find it. I know it's down here somewhere. You know what I mean? I just haven't had the time to do that. You know what I mean? I know I dropped it. So basically I've done that. Then I bought a Super Nintendo console. Now I've been after one of them for a while. You know what I mean? Not that I'm into Nintendo, I'm more a Sega person, but with the cartridges being so cheap, you know what I mean? Okay, box stuff is expensive, but carts themselves are quite reasonably cost. So I'm thinking, well, I set myself a challenge, as you know what I mean? You know, 50 cartridges before the end of the year. Managed to get it a month beforehand because I actually got a universal adapter so I can use Japanese carts on them. You know what I mean? They were going well cheap, so I managed to get to my 50 and managed to put another shelf up to put my cartridges on, which is another thing that happened this year. All my games consoles was under this desk in front of me, moved from that underneath my desk to the wall. So absolutely brilliant with that. You know what I mean? You know, thanks to Danny putting the shelves up. You know what I mean? You know, made my life simpler. Then the 50 carts before Christmas was broken so fast that I couldn't believe it. Anyway, and then we go into the Evercade stuff. I've got an Evercade Pocket, the blue and white one. I think it was last month. You know what I mean, you know. And I got the Evercade bar top, you know what I mean, which is deluxe edition, which is behind me, which has got Mega Man and, you know what I mean, you know, Final Fight on it. Absolutely brilliant arcade machine. You know, absolutely love it to pieces. And then I got the Street Fighter 2. It ain't the Evercade one, it's just the bar top. It's got 5 games on there. You know what I mean? I got that. You know what I mean? You know, so this year's been a collecting more consoles than games this year. Also got a gaming stick, which I showed a couple of gameplay videos on it. Absolutely brilliant. It's got Pepsi Man on it. Everybody goes on about Pepsi Man. I got it on the Pandora's box as well as that. So this year's been a big collections. You know what I mean? You know, more games. I've added more games since then. I must have added at least 300 game plus this year as well. So you know what I mean, still collecting for the Essentials PS3s. You know what I mean? There ain't many going around at the moment. I went into CEX just before Christmas, had one, didn't have the original disc. I'm not going into that. I've done a couple of videos on it. Not happy with CEX when it comes down to that editions, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? New subscribers this year. You know what I mean? Absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? Thanks for being there. And the old subscribers, you have been there through my start of my... It's been nearly 5 years now. 5 years next year. So, you know what I mean? You know, it's been a good ride. We're going to carry on. We're going to try and make 2 videos a week. We're going to try and pick up little bits. It will be little bits. There's certain consoles that I want to collect in 2026, 32X. Circumstances changed in November, unfortunately. Just couldn't afford nothing. You know what I mean? You know, family members helped me out with certain things, you know what I mean? You know, so just couldn't afford a thing. So basically, I've had to put everything on hold until I got it sorted out. Got it sorted out. So that's been done. You know what I mean? Hopefully more games will be coming into the hallway and the games room. See PS2 stuff because they're above here. Been a good year. You know what I mean? November, December time is always a depressing time for me when it comes down to personal issues, when it comes down to family members dying and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Didn't cope last month, this month at all. Do apologise for that. You know what I mean? I think I put up a video which wasn't me at all. You know what I mean? But I took it down now. You know what I mean? I'll put an apology video up. You know what I mean? You know, me and the certain people are okay now. It just wasn't me. I wasn't in the right frame of mind. But you know what I mean? You know, I did apologise. Anyway, you know what I mean? That's my yearly review next year. 2 videos a week. We're going to enjoy out more play videos, more going lives. Yeah, I mean, you know, we're gonna move, we hope, next year. Yeah, I mean, you know, well, I'm gonna build a room around me instead of having. This is a bedroom. If people know this room, this is a bedroom. I feel sorry for Tanya. She has put up with a lot this year when it comes down to me buying stuff as well. Yeah, I mean, you know. So I do appreciate her, but even though I'm her carer and a full-time carer, I still appreciate her because, you know, she's kept me on an even keel the past few months. Anyway, that's me done for today. You know what I mean? If you're not subscribed to my channel, please press the button. It doesn't cost anything. There's going to be another, last video will be up in one of the corners. As per usual, subscribe will be down here probably, or up here. You know what I mean, you know. So basically, if you enjoy my content, more to come. I will see you in the new year. Have a happy new year, everybody, and bye for now.